There's a lot of awful parts about being homeless. Being stared at like you're a zoo animal, being treated like a charity case and then receiving no such charity. Um, Traveling, which invariably destroys your body or puts you at great risk of bodily harm, or both, usually both. Weather becoming life threatening, along with any illness or infection, bringing you from an uncomfortable situation to a situation that could very easily be your undoing. These are all parts of being homeless that are somewhere in between miserable and horrific. But I think they're even refreshing compared to my personal most hated part of being homeless. That, of course, being all of your equipment or anything you have constantly breaking or being lost. Unfortunately, I'm no stranger to breaking, losing, or having my stuff. What the fuck does that say? Am I retarded? I just wrote, unfortunately, I am no stranger to breaking, losing, or having my stuff. Period. What was I trying to. I guess I just. My mind just. There was nothing behind my eyes in those moments of writing that. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm no stranger to breaking, losing, or having my stuff stolen. I think that's what I was trying to say and fucking failed to write down. What the hell? Unbelievable. Ugh. Okay. Yet that only ever seems to open old wounds when it happens anew, right? Whenever I lose something, lose, break, have it stolen, I'm just going to call it lose as a general term. Whenever I lose stuff, it just seems to open those old wounds of like, damn. I instantly remember all of the times that I've had this exact same thing happen to me in the past. Like, this sucks. And it just. It never seems to lessen the pain whatsoever. You'd think it would diminish the pain of losing stuff, but no, it doesn't. It just makes it worse. It just makes you think about all the other times you've lost stuff. It's a compounding feeling and misery. And the problem is that you're never going to carry two of the same item. There's a couple reasons for that. The cost of the items, the difficulty of obtaining the items in terms of like distance you'd have to travel to get them, the weight, and obviously the space makes any amount of redundancy in your equipment pretty infeasible. Um, wasn't I gonna fucking write? I just fucking skipped a paragraph as I was reading it. That sucks. Well, I guess I'll read it right now. Just to clarify, it is the next paragraph, but it just like I just visually skipped it on accident, so it just mind fucked me for a second there. But this will be a separate video, but normally your teammates would carry your items that are, you know, necessary as well. Like, for example, a lighter. Like, you can expect every single one of your teammates to have a lighter. But it's just annoying because that would offer you redundancy. But if you're on your own, which you're going to be on your own if you're homeless, then, I mean, unless you're just living the fucking life, I don't know. If you have a teammate when you're homeless, like, you're fucking living, dude. I'm sorry, but like, why even call homelessness a bad thing if you have a teammate? I I wouldn't. At that point, you're just having a grand old time. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah. So yeah, losing shit sucks. And sorry for cursing, guys. Sorry if your mother walked into the room and heard this vile, delinquent speech that's coming out of my mouth. I'm so sorry. I'll hit you with I'll hit my Lord JC with 10 Hail Marys. Is it Hail Mary or is it Mother Mary? I don't remember. That's how much of a sinner I am. I don't remember. Yeah, those stupid repeat prayers. What is the purpose of those besides just like wasting your own time? If you're going to talk to God, talk to God. Do you really think God wants spam mail? I don't think he does. I do not think he does. But yeah. But nothing ruins my week quite like losing something that I'm going to have to replace with, a usually inferior and garbage item. And nothing ruins my year like losing something that I can never replace. I mean, just think about that. Something you can never replace. How are you ever supposed to get over that? How are you ever supposed to get over losing that? You can't. You fucking won't. It sucks. Every time I lose something, it instantly just brings back the memories of me losing my computer, me losing all of the recordings of all the... Dude, I had recorded like every single funny moment that I'd had playing video games for like 2 years. Not even 2 years, like 4 years. And I just lost it. In one fell swoop by having my computer stolen. And the hard drives, because, like, why not, right? Just take it all. Brutal. Just totally brutal. But yeah. It's just like opening an old wound every time. The only way to prevent losing your stuff is basically just to tie everything to yourself. Or attach it to yourself with a carabiner. And that's really the only way to do it. Just have every single thing dummy corded to yourself in some way, shape, or form. I don't even know what to call it. I guess it's annoying, but it's just so lame. Boring, even. That's the only way to prevent you from losing stuff, is just tying it to you? I mean, it seems so simple. Don't we just all want a simple solution to problems? But, I don't know, it's just... You're not going to be able to tie everything to yourself. And that's the most irritating part, is that normally when you're going to lose something, you know that you're probably going to end up losing it, but you can't do anything. So it just stings even more when you finally lose it. You're just like, well, that's great. Not only did I know I was going to lose it, but I couldn't do anything, and then I lost it anyway. Epic. But then... there's really no other way to describe it besides saying that losing an item or having it destroyed is just a special type of pain. It's just... It's not like rejection or physical pain. I know a ton of losers say, like, that they fear rejection. I have no such fear. If you fear rejection, and damn, that is like... The whole sky is pink right now because of the sunrise. It looks so weird. I guess I should take a photo of that real quick. Give me a second. Just 1 second, I swear. Alright. Yeah, that's probably good enough. Sorry about that interruption, guys. Please do not click off. Please. I'm begging. It's probably satisfying to hear the sound of the camera, at least. Anyway. So, Yeah, it's weird. Like, some people will say that rejection is like what they I've heard this before, that rejection is what somebody fears most. If you fear somebody else's opinion more than anything else, you probably need to get yourself some perspective. Okay, I'm just some real shit, some advice. Like, you have not experienced any hardship whatsoever. You should at least maybe talk to somebody that has, to get some perspective on life. Like, it's just so stupid being rejected. Who cares? Like, how have you not been rejected a billion times? I've been rejected a billion times. I mean, it's just a part of life. It happens constantly. If you don't ask, you don't get. So I just ask people all the time for whatever. And then, yeah, that causes rejection. I realized myself that as a homeless person, the greatest separation between you and success is largely just your embarrassment tolerance. So, like, how much can you take of being embarrassed before you crack? You know? Like, I was trying to find a place to ship my stuff to, and I only got through, I should say, like 6 houses before I was just like, damn, like, I I can't take another person giving me the fluoride stare and telling me to fuck off. Like, this is just so depressing. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if you ask 1,000 people, like, you will eventually get somebody that says yes. That's just how it is. Just ask enough people, and you shall receive. Simple as that. But yeah, basically. Yeah, rejection. What a stupid fear. I can understand, like, the mounting of rejection, like wow, like, this is way too much rejection. I get that. But besides that, what are you complaining about, pimp? I I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, but yeah, it's not. It's so much worse. Like, losing something is so much worse than physical pain. It's so much worse than any, like, comparable mental pain. I would rather a person that I love tell me that I'm just like a fat piece of shit and they don't even know why they hang out with me anymore and then never talk to me ever again than lose, like, an irreplaceable item that I'll never be able to get back. You know? Because, like, I had my experiences with that person, but the irreplaceable item, like, oh, it's gone, pimp. It's over. You lose. Good day, sir. What a By the way, I fucking love that video. The Willy Wonka in a Chocolate Factory, or Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. What is it called? I think it is Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. I think. But yeah, that scene where he's just like, you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. What a what a fucking clip. What a clip. That is hilarious. It's just fucking awesome. But yeah. So yeah, there's nothing that comes close to losing an irreplaceable item. Even losing an item that can be replaced, like, you feel like such an idiot. Like, it sucks. I'd rather get scammed out of $10 than lose something that's worth $10. You know what I mean? Like, at least with the getting scammed out of $10, I can learn my lesson and be like, oh, well, I'm just not going to do that. But with losing something that's worth $10, like, you just realize, like, well, it's happened one time and it'll happen 1,000 more. It sucks. It sucks so fucking bad. An uncomfortable question is asked every single time you break or lose something or whatever. Mostly break. And that question is, if everything breaks, then how long will it be until I break? You know what I mean? it makes you come to terms with both the reality of the futility of your actions as well as your own mortality at the same time, which is just horrific. Like, nothing else is like that. Like, you could lose your best friend, and it doesn't make you think, like, man, like, am I just an unlikable piece of shit? Because you had a that was your best friend for a period of time, so what do you mean? Like, clearly you are likable. Like, it's just that one of you changed, right? So, there's nothing quite like that. There's nothing quite like losing something. Because it just makes you think like, man, this is just totally futile. It doesn't matter how much I try to not lose something. I just end up losing it eventually anyway, right? Either that or you think about your own mortality and just like, well, much like these items, I'm gonna, you know, end up in a way losing myself eventually, right? Whether that be mentally or, physically. And then the reasons for this, for why it's so common to break, lose, or have stuff stolen as a homeless guy, is for a couple reasons. Let me read them out. God, it's so uncomfortable to like pick this up in this setup, but man, that is it's so unintuitive. But yeah, it's due to, in part, improper storage, overuse, travel exposed to physical and weather damage, being carried outside of sealed containers, and lackluster security. And that those issues are largely completely unavoidable as a symptom of being homeless. So basically, as long as you're homeless and you don't have a sealed vehicle, because I can elaborate on each of these. Improper storage, like if you don't have a house, most of your stuff is going to get, at least to some degree, wet or moist, at the very least, if not just outright rained on. And then overuse, basically, if you have anything and you carry it around all the time, you're going to use it a lot. And the wear and tear is going to be extreme. You're going to take it with you everywhere. And there's this thing I've realized that I do where I just don't bother taking things off when I'm homeless, because think about it like this. If I take shit off and I set it aside, what good has that really done, you know? If I set it aside, like in this setup that I have right now, my winter retreat, right? It's still going to get snowed on. If I put it aside, it's going to get snowed on probably. If it does snow, that is. It could easily roll down the side of this thing and like get put in an even worse spot. So I usually opt to just keep it attached to my body if it is, right? So that being said, and the stuff that I don't have attached to my body is still exposed to the elements. Like, it's going to get snowed on, and that snow's going to melt if I leave it there for long enough. So there's no correct way to like properly store or take off your items when you're sleeping. Multiple times I've gotten up to realize that or have just noticed that an item that I've had attached to me while I've been sleeping has been irreparably scratched or otherwise damaged to a point of no repair, I guess you could say. And it's just like, fuck, but like, what are you supposed to do? Then the travel exposed to physical and weather damage. If you walk anywhere or you get on a bike, basically anything where your body is exposed to the elements, as you move and travel, like, you're going to get rained on or have, dust hit you, whatever. But even more than that, if you fall down and biff it, your stuff is very likely to get caught up in that. Like, you could easily fall on your crap and turn it to paste. I know it's happened to me multiple times. You fall on something, you accidentally crush something you were holding, whatever. And the worst part is, if you want that not to happen, what do you have to do? You have to throw your own body into a position where you can't hurt your items. Like when I'm carrying a camera, I just shift my body like right to the right. I guess to the left. Like I show my right shoulder more to completely shield the camera from any harm. And it's just like it just fucking blows. You have to just destroy yourself trying to keep your stuff from getting destroyed. It's completely horrific. And then what's the other one here? Oh yeah, being carried outside of sealed containers. For the longest time on my backpack, if you have too much stuff, you usually attach some sort of like bag or something to the outside of your backpack. And by and large, it's not going to be a sealed item, right? It's going to be relatively exposed. Or not exposed, but like, unsealed basically. Stuff can come out of the top if it's just right, So, that being said, obviously, if you can have stuff come out of your bag, then it will come out of your bag. Maybe not a lot, but certainly a little. It just reminds me of those song lyrics. What exactly were they? I don't really remember. We do it a little, we do it a lot. Something like that. But yeah, and security. This is a classic one. If you're homeless, where do you put stuff? Probably not in a home. So, like, you're not gonna have locks on the vast majority of your stuff. And even if you did, you could just pick it up and leave, right? Like, and what are you supposed to do? Call the cops? If somebody's stealing your stuff? They're gonna be like, oh, well, that's terrible that they stole your stuff, but yeah, there's no way that we're gonna find this guy because he just picked up your shit and left. Furthermore, you're not allowed to be here. So get fucking lost. So yeah, the police, as per the usual, they really just exist to just, I don't know, fuck you over. How else would you even really say it? But yeah, that's basically it. Losing stuff, breaking stuff, having your stuff stolen. It's definitely the worst part of being homeless. You feel like an idiot every single time, because even like when your stuff gets stolen, you think to yourself like, why the fuck didn't I like? But there's no solution. Like what were you supposed to done? You just think like, man, why didn't I do this or that? Like it just blows. Like right now, I know exactly where my bike is, and it's not locked. It's just far enough into the wilderness that I assume people won't, like, find it. So, I mean, it could be gone right now. Somebody could have stolen it right now. I would have no idea. Just yesterday, I lost a pair of mittens. I knew that I was going to lose them. I had them attached to my camera, and yeah, they just fell off. So stupid. Like, I buckled them together, and then, like, hung them on the camera strap, and then they just came off. What the fuck was I supposed to do? You always realize in hindsight, like, oh, I could have taken this off of here, and then blah, 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 blah. It's so lame. It's so fucking lame. It's like, if only I would have had that insight at the time. That's crazy. You see what I mean? It just makes you feel like such a retard. They had fallen off previously. I should have just fixed it. Now I'm at risk of losing fingers, like, for real. Just because of that one mistake. That stupid, admittedly avoidable mistake. That's the worst part, is just being like, well, yeah, I could have avoided it. Sure, I could have avoided it. It makes you think more about, like, the juice versus the squeeze hypothetical. Because, obviously, if you get lazy with keeping from losing something one time, you're probably not going to lose it. So the question is, how much labor would it take? Because hypothetically, like, I could lock my bike to the flimsy tree that it's next to every single time. But, like, it would be a ridiculous amount of labor. It would increase the amount of snow that gets on my bike and reduce the, increase the wear and tear. So it's just like, what's the cutoff in terms of labor? Obviously, it's going to seem worth it after you lose your item. But before then? You know what I mean? I always used to have 2 locks on my bike. Then I lost one of them. It just fell out of my pocket at some point. Yeah. I mean, it's just brutal. It's just absolutely brutal. And you think you're safe sometimes, like, you think, oh, well, I mean, it's behind a zipper, it's behind whatever. I've had crazy shit happen, okay? I mean, when my computer got stolen, it got stolen out of a hotel room because the fucking staff stole it. You know what I mean? Like, you can have some wild shit happen. One time I don't even remember when it was, but I just took off my backpack and noticed that the back pocket was open. And the first thing I thought was, oh my god, is my fucking wallet still in there? It was. And then a couple days later, I tied a string to it and then tied it to the backpack to make sure that I, no matter what, could not possibly lose my wallet. Even then, though, the string is not tied to any part of my backpack, actually. It's just, like, packed into the pocket. I don't know why I did it like that. I'm just assuming there's no place to tie it to in that part of the backpack. So, like, it could still realistically... You see what I mean? Like, it's just an amount of time. Like, in a decade of that, sure, I could lose my wallet. I could see it. But by that time, every single thing that I'm carrying right now, like this recorder that I'm using, this journal I'm reading out of, it'll all be dust. Already the port on this recorder no longer functions. You can't plug anything in there to charge it. Or not to charge it. This recorder is actually kind of dog shit. It uses AAAs, which I despise. I specifically got this recorder because it had this, like, outlet, right? Which I assumed meant that it had an internal battery that you'd charge, but that's not the case. Like, can I just say, if your product uses a non-rechargeable system to power itself, it is fucking trash. It's just actual garbage. Like, I can't believe that we're in the year of our Lord 2025 now. 2025. Companies are still selling flashlights that take AA and AAA batteries. What the fuck? Do you think that I want to buy a $20 pack of fucking batteries to use your item? Your dog shit garbage item? No, I don't. I want to plug it into a wall outlet, pay 3 cents for electricity, or not even, at like a fucking place with free power, and call it a day. Like, do you seriously think, do you think for even a second, but real shit, like, do you think even for a moment that I'm going to tolerate that? Like, no, I'm not. I've had multiple people give me shit, and I'm just like, dude, this takes double A's. Like, what are you doing? The triple A's that I'm using to operate this thing right now, guess what that's from? Somebody gave me a headlamp, and they gave me a, like, little camp light. And I told them multiple times, I said, like, you know I'm not going to use that. Because, like, the way I described it was crystal clear and perfectly simple. I just said, why would I turn on a light to, like, give away my position in the dark? This was a guy that's been in the army, apparently, too. And he's like, yeah, you're gonna need this. He just gave me a fucking headlamp and a little light. Like, dude, do you have brain damage? Like, I'm sorry. But, like, dude, are you mentally compromised? Like, you know I'm never gonna fucking use any of this, right? But you know what it did have? It had triple A's. So I tore out the triple A's, and he gave me a couple replacement triple A's in a little bag. I took the bag and I tore out the triple A's from each one of the items. And, yeah. Because he, like, basically forced me to take them. It's like, no, you're totally gonna need this. Like, okay, whatever. I don't like, why would you not believe me when I say I'm never gonna use it? Do you think I'm lying to you? I don't know. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Leave a comment on the video. Leave a comment or something, I don't know. Oh yeah, press that, like, the big button. The big, the red one. You should press that button. Yeah, that's it.